You guys, seriously, 5 seconds ago, I could not find my phone. I had these visions of me getting on my laptop telling you guys, I can't find my phone. So I ran around the house and came back to the art studio, and there it was, like right there on the table. Anyway, happy Saturday. Who's on? I don't see anybody right now, so hopefully somebody's there. Okay. Good morning, good afternoon. Okay, so I was a tiny bit behind. I'm just gonna fill up my little water jugs here while everybody is getting on. So I'm so excited, you guys. We have so much to do today. And I was gonna clip some of these tulips, but that can wait too. So you guys, hello. Okay, everybody get your, well, I'm gonna be chatting about some gardening stuff this morning. So while I'm doing that, you guys can be getting your paints or paper, anything you wanna do. So we're gonna have some fun today, and we're going to be doing some I'm gonna be doing watercolors. You guys can get your colored pencils out, your markers out, your crayons out, your acrylics out, whatever you want, your sketchbook. It's really fun to sketch along with me, and I love when you guys send me photos of me, not like of me, but like the screen, and your sketchbook is in front of it and you're just sketching away. Oh, I love it. So do that. It's awesome. So I'm hoping that you guys will be doing some art with me. All right, wait, I forgot, I gotta get one thing. Oh, hold, yeah, you just go get your stuff. Hello. And I'm just gonna grab some paper towels, just in case we made a huge, gigantic mess. And what, is that Donna Propus? I was just thinking about Donna Propus. Are you in Florida still, maybe with Patty, or are you back in sunny Buffalo? Hi, there's Kathy. Okay, now I really have to get my shades on. Hello, Kim. Yes, tell me where you guys are calling in from. Or not even calling. Hello, tell me where everybody's from. Hi, Patty from snowy Michigan. Good morning, Amanda. Hello, oh, you're still in Florida. Oh, I hope you were with Patty. Hi, Patty. So fun, you guys. Oh my God, we're gonna have the best time today. I have one, hello Terry. Terry's from my area. Terry's down in Santa Cruz. I'm hoping that the fog actually stays a little bit, so that way we don't get a lot of sun in here. And Molly, Molly is in like the most amazing place. It's totally on my bucket list. And Lorna's from Toronto and Ontario, my old stomping grounds. Barbara's from Florence, Oregon. Linda, Massachusetts. Oh my goodness. I love it everywhere. Do we have my European buddies on yet? I hope so. Vancouver. So definitely on, now that I'm on the West Coast, California, on my list is to go and tour that whole beautiful part of Canada, which is the west side of Canada. The farthest I've been is Orcas Island, and I think they're called the San Juan Islands. And we went on a big vacation there with the family. It was so much fun. And maybe my passport was expired, and then we had COVID, and I know people from Canada are just now allowed to kind of get out and go and visit and do all that awesome traveling. So you guys were on lockdown for a long time, or locked in your country for a long time. Okay, so let's see, what time is it? It's almost 5 after, and we're gonna get some stuff done. But okay, so here, wait till you guys see these. These are a week old. Okay, these are the tulips that I got at Costco. So after our live, I think it was Saturday or Sunday, I went to Costco. Costco's like a BJ's that's on the East Coast. I don't know if there's something like that in Europe or Australia, but it's like a huge warehouse and you have to buy everything in bulk, like tons of stuff. So I bought these tulips. They were about, I think they were like $9, and a few of them have done their thing and keep dropping, but look how beautiful some of these still are. And I thought this, like, oh, did you hear that? One just dropped. Like, look at this pink one. Isn't that so pretty? I mean, that would just be so fun to paint later. I just love like the little little shapes in the inside. So I have had these on my kitchen table, and every day I try to cut, you know, the stems. But even just like when they're on their way out, look how fun that would be. Just to use this as a little creative prompt. How cool is that? That just fell. Anyway, so we are going to be playing around with that, but I have to tell you a couple gardening stories because it is spring, right? For most of us. For most of us, it's springtime. And some of us are going into fall, but okay, so Anna, who you guys have heard me talk about, I'm sure, a ton, my mother-in-law who passed away, and it has been 10 years, which is crazy that it's been that long. But before she passed away, she gave me and Mark, my husband, a wisteria plant in a bucket, like a nice wisteria plant, probably like this big, and it was probably in like a 5-gallon bucket or 2-gallon bucket or something. And I think we just like, you know, the kids were little and I was sort of into gardening, but I was also running around, and I think we just left it in the bucket. And then she died, and then I was like, oh my God, we have got to get that in the ground. Like, I didn't want anything that she ever gave me to die, you know? So it was like one of those things where I was like, this is immediate. Let's get this wisteria in the ground. So we put it by the front of the house, and it has been winding along the front deck, and for 10 years, it has never had a flower, but it's always had like the most abundant leaves, like beautiful green leaves, and every year I'm like, when are we ever gonna see a wisteria flower? Because if you guys have seen wisteria, it starts off in the spring with just the trunks and the brown branches, and then you get the most gorgeous purple, beautiful purple flower. And when they're established, I mean, they're absolutely gorgeous. They're like on arches. They're very British too. You can see them in beautiful gardens. And I have been like drooling to get a wisteria plant to bloom. So I have to tell you, last week, I was like driving up the driveway and I looked, I'm like, huh, that looks like some sort of like bud is forming. And I got closer and I did it on my stories today. So you should see it. Wait, where's my fingers? There is a bloom this big. It's not purple yet, but it's getting there. And then I started looking and there's 3 more. So that, you guys, is so awesome. I was so excited. So as soon as that comes into bloom, I'm gonna share that with you. Okay, so now here's my other gardening story today, which is not as fun as that one. So I also love roses, and this winter I took some roses that were in like one part of my garden and I put them all together so that I could water them without a hose. So the water is just like it's like a drip, and so when you water roses, you shouldn't really spray them because then the leaves get all crappy and stuff like that. And so I have fixed the drip, and I spent all these hours and I sprayed them with this like organic like neem oil, and I got them all looking perfect. And 2 days ago I went out there, and each bush, so I'm trying to think how many I have. I think I have 11, had easily 10, 12 buds coming, easily 10 or 12, maybe even more. And my birthday's in April, and they usually bloom in April. Oh my gosh, I went out this morning with my tea and my dog, and I'm like, let's go check on my buds. Every single bud was eaten last night. Every single one. I'm not even kidding you. Not one left. Every single one. And I looked down, and there's all these little hoof prints everywhere, and the damn deer came back. And so we haven't had deer at my house in over 6 years because we have figured out a way to fence off the area, and it's totally fenced because of the dog. And so then I did some investigating from the hoof prints, and I walked around and I found those hoof prints, and there's this little crack where we took down this honeysuckle bush. And anyway, so that's my other side of the gardening story. I had a happy mysterious story, and then I had a tragic rose story. So we will just have to wait another couple months to get those roses back. So I'm gonna be on the hunt this weekend to get it all ready. All right, now enough of my gardening stories. You guys should have your art staff. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna flip the camera down and we are just gonna paint. And that's what we're gonna do today. And we're going to create some beautiful stuff together and send out some really healing, creative love to everybody, okay? One thing that I wanted to tell you actually, because of my mom said to me, so when you see me this way, I am flipped. So my mom's like, that's not where your hair is parted, da da da. So you can see that this is backwards. So what happens is when we're on Facebook, and anybody's Facebook or Instagram, when the camera is on me, in order for the art table to be right reading, I'm gonna be left reading, or backwards reading, or upside down reading, whatever it is. I just wanted you to know that. My mom was really confused about that. She's like, I don't understand. So this is the only way that when we do our artwork, I can have it the right way. All right, hold on, I'm gonna flip us. Alrighty, so now you see how we're back to normal. Okay, so I'm gonna push this like this. Okay, and I'm gonna try and get as much room as possible on my table for you guys. Sorry about that noise. Okay. Now, I was so excited about, I'm just trying to get this up a little bit. I know that's probably right in your ear. Okay, I think that's pretty good. What I have under here is, just so you guys know, is I have a piece of watercolor paper, all right? And I have 3 jars of water. I have a whole bunch of different watercolors. I have my Wild Thorn. I have a bunch of the Mission Gold, okay? I have a whole bunch of these. There's also Peerless Watercolors. I don't know if I'll use these or not, but I've been looking for that beautiful blue, and I might use some of these. I also have this Prima Tropical set. Alrighty, so I'm not too sure what we're gonna do. We're just gonna go for it, but I just wanted to let you know that I have a whole bunch of different watercolors, and I just had them. And here's my palette that has all the yummy stuff already on most of it. But I just wanted you to know that when I'm doing my watercolors, this is how I'm just set up. It's just got all the stuff here, and I just kind of go for it. I also have such exciting news. Okay, talk about the universe was really listening to me. So King Art, I love their brushes. I use them in almost every one of my classes, my newer classes, and they are incredible. So I use these brushes for acrylics and watercolors. And my last few watercolors I have been using like just, you know, my acrylic brushes. So I was like, I'm gonna break out these new brushes today. And then I thought, oh, it would be so awesome if King Art would call me and give me some more brushes. And I kid you not, you guys, yesterday they sent me an email and they said, hey, we were wondering if you want some more brushes. And I was like, yes, please. And then I told them about all you guys, and I said, please send me extra so I can give them away, so we can do some giveaways. But also what they asked me to do, and I'm even more excited about this too, is that they're going to give me my own affiliate link. So I'll be able to get everybody 10% off above already their amazing sale prices. So that link is coming. And so anytime you want to buy a King Art brush, you can use my link. I get a tiny bit back, and you get more discounts on top of what they already have, because they always have sales, and they're really, really good brushes. So you guys, talk about how awesome is that? I was like, hello universe. Can you see if King Art would send me some brushes? And there she was. I'm not crazy. I'm telling you, it was awesome. All right, so let me just get my butt down. I won't be able to see comments when I'm this far away from my maybe I could see a little bit actually if I peer my head up and down. But what I wanted to show you first was the journal and what I've done so far. Well, so far it's almost finished, I would think. Okay, so this was a handmade journal I did. And let's see, it's, 4 spreads. 1, 2, 3, no, all it is 3 spreads. And they are made from, each page was 140-pound Fabriano paper, which is what I have right here, which is what I'm going to be playing with. When will this happen? Oh, soon. Probably next week. So probably next week, you guys, just hang tight. I got to sign up for it, but they were so awesome. They're only inviting certain artists, and I was so honored. So I can't wait to share that with you. Okay, so this is 140-pound watercolor paper. We did it in one of my Zoom journal classes, and I added actually that rag paper. I think I talked about this last week. So it's been really fun to just play with, and I wanted to show you two. Well, and it's so funny because this started off as an acrylic journal, which clearly this does not have anything to do with tulips, but that's what also making journals is so awesome, because no one needs to know. It's your journal. You can have like whatever you want in it. And if you want to do some acrylics and some watercolors, then you just do that. Okay. So this was like from last year or earlier in the year. No, last year. And then I started doing the watercolors. But I wanted to show you 2 pages in particular. Okay. So this is a page that I worked on with you guys last week. And I can't even remember now, but if I didn't work on it, I showed it to you. And what I decided to do was that was sort of my first layer. And so then I went back in. Did we do the second layer together? I can't even remember, but anyway, anyway, my point is that when I watercolor, I do a similar thing like I do with my acrylics, which is I'll watercolor, 50%, meaning I just have, most of my paint down and I've got my composition down. And then I go back in and I go over it again, not completely over it, but in areas. And I really build up such beautiful richness right here. Like, I would take my paint and I would go right over this little area. And it's just a really fun way to work with the watercolors and just build up. Just build it up. So that is one page. This is an example of, just so you know, this is an example of a first layer. So I could leave these the way they are because they're kind of studies and sketches. And if I wanted to, like if I didn't really know what I wanted to create, then I would just go in and work on the second layer. And so I would go in with my paint and add more and just paint along the sides, not necessarily over it completely, but maybe along the sides of the green, and just start to add more detail. And then this one, I'm just loving this side. And this was the cover. This is the cover. And then when I had it flattened, I thought it'd be kind of fun to spread it out this way. And a lot of this, I put this on put it on one of my social media accounts. I can't remember, maybe both, but a lot of people were asking about this pink, and this pink is that opera pink, and it's quinacridone opera here, but it's also called opera pink, and a lot of brands have opera pink. That's the name of it. And I love this color. So even though my tulips may not be as bright today because they're a little bit older and they've kind of lost a little bit of their color, I probably will still use this color because I thought it was just so pretty. And I also used this lime green. Which one of these greens did I use? No, I can't remember. I might have used this permanent green pale, but I also have this mission green that we can play around with today. So that is that. And I just did very similar things. I'm gonna zoom down so you can see this. I did very similar things that I do in my acrylics. You know, I keep my little dabs going and my little tiny marks. You can see them all in here. It's really more of an expression of my tulips, and Terry and who else? Karen and a few of you guys posted your tulips last week, and it was the same sort of thing, just kind of fun and whimsical and more abstract than trying to get it to be this perfect tulip. And so that's what I want to do today, is sort of get out of having things needing to look realistic and just having it be like an expression of the tulips. And that's the same thing with the leaves. I mean, these don't really look like a traditional leaf, but they have the long part and they have this beautiful green. So we're gonna do stuff like that. So I'm gonna use this idea for the inspiration, okay? But I can't get it all in camera. So I'm gonna put this to the side. Over here, I find my water. Let's see if I'm straight. I don't have my computer on anymore when I do these lives, because I think that was sort of also, you know, streaming. That was one more device streaming in my house. So I have this paper. The paper is pretty big. I'm really just going to work in this section right here so you see everything. And then I'll probably continue to work on it during the week. And what I want to do first is I'm going to take a tulip and just put it down here. It's maybe a little bit of an inspiration for me, but look at your flowers. And they don't have to be tulips at all. I've got these yellow ones. I'm going to put this pot right here next to me and grab some of these brushes. I'm also going to grab a couple small brushes. And we're just gonna have fun. So I've got these number 6, or these are all original gold too. King Art makes different lines of their brushes. Some are high-end, some are beginners. I really like the original gold. My mom turned me on to these, and so they've been really fun. So let's see what time it is. Okay, well, we've got like 40 minutes just to play around. And then when we're done, I want to pull one of our cards from our deck. And I also want to talk about, there was a question that came up in the group last week about showing art to family members. And I sort of really want to talk about that with everybody. Okay, so I'm just taking my water and I am... Can't really see it, but I'm just going in and making my first tulipy shape, which looks like it might be pretty big. But I'm gonna just go ahead and put down some sort of, I'm making like these like cup shapes right now, okay? Just having fun, that's it. And I'm gonna keep the pink going because I love it, and I think you guys do too. And there was somebody who in our group, I hope she's got out. Bonnie is somewhere traveling, and I think they're a little quarantined because she picked up COVID, and she only has her one set of watercolors. And her comment was her watercolors aren't that bright. Well, you definitely have to get, you know, bright watercolors and purchase those. And so it's hard to make bright watercolors out of a regular set. That's why I love this tropical set from Prima. And I think it's like $27 or something, because they do have a very similar pink. Look, they have a very similar pink to what I'm using right now. And you don't have to go and buy these big fancy sets if you wanna. This is a great, 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 great travel set, okay? That's probably what I'll take when I go traveling. All right, so I'm gonna put in this pink, and I'm sure you guys have heard me talk about it, especially in that my watercolor bloom class, is that paints will last you so long. You don't really have to invest too much with watercolors. Like, just find a set you like, and then you should be good. All right, so all I'm doing, look how pretty that is. I really love the way the paint just flows with the water underneath. And I'm also going to do one of these tulips without water underneath so you can see. And then what I do is I take this round brush. So if you have a smaller piece of paper, you can do the same thing with a smaller brush. And all I'm doing is sort of having one side has a little bit more paint, and then I'm sometimes holding my brush up and making those little lines. Now I'm going to do a tulip right here that does not have any water back here. Now I still have four other spots that have water, but I just wanted to show you a little bit of the difference. Would definitely be how opaque. You don't have any water down here, so it's, you know, you're going to be brighter or darker depending on what kind of paints you're using. And there's no right or wrong way to put watercolors down. I'm sure if you talk to some stuffy professor from the 70s and the 80s, like the ones I had in the 80s, they would tell you there is a right way. Nope, that's not true. There's no right way. Actually, that's not true. There's no wrong way. There's lots of right ways. It's whatever way you want. So I'm going to take my brush, put it back in the water, and go over to these ones and just play around with putting the paint inside where the water was. That was the edge. Can you guys see that? So painting in this loose way is just really relaxing. I like my tulips to be different sizes. That's just taking a realistic tulip and turning it into a little bit more abstract, and it's more of an expression of a tulip, because the tulips in my vase, they're all the same size-ish, right? They're all about the same size. But now you can take the idea of the tulip and turn it into something else. I'm just gonna add some more of that paint. I've got this little guy up here. And right here. So he just kind of fills in. Do you guys have any questions? Because I can see on starting and getting it down on your paper. Anybody have any questions? I'm happy to answer. Happy to ask too, but happy to answer. I know, good. I hope everybody's painting. So you can see the difference of water underneath and water not underneath. For me, the composition is the hardest part. Totally get that, Linda. And composition is not an easy thing. And a couple tips on composition would be when you're working in your journal, and this is a pretty big journal, but even if you're working on a smaller journal, I would let go of making the composition anything at that point and just have fun playing around. And then as you get to the point where you want to then create a piece outside your journal or outside your sketchbook, play around with what in your sketchbook did you like? What sort of areas did you like? And then you can take some croppers, I don't have it right in front of me, but you can take, let's see if I can do something like this. This is like a little flower book, but you could start to look at your pages and look at what is working, what you do like, and then you can work with that on a new sheet of paper. The other thing is when I'm working with a composition and I have a brand new sheet of paper, I'm just going for it because I practiced so many times. I would think that what you can do is when you're working with flowers, I try to put my flowers down first in different sizes and just kind of fill the space visually, and then worry about how I'm going to fill in my other spaces. So I'm not a realistic artist too much so that I'm looking at something and I'm doing it exactly the way I see it. And then that you would just do the composition the way you see it. Like if I'm looking at this vase, I want to put my vase here and my tulips here. So when I'm doing something a little bit more subjectively and abstract, that's when I want to sort of go, okay, where does it look balanced? Where does it look too heavy? I usually don't like things centered. I like having different sizes. So you can play around with that. But I would say keep practicing. Don't worry about the composition when you're working in your journal or your sketchbook, and then start to flag the things that you like. And there's probably a reason you like them because they visually look good to you. And that way you'll be like, oh, that's what a good composition is. So you'll start to kind of pick that up naturally. And this is the Fabriano 140-pound hot press. My sister paints on cold press with her watercolors, but I prefer hot press. All right, so now I've got my pink down, and I think I want to add a little orange. And I found this. This is the Mission. I just want to see something because even though the outside looks nice and bright, I'm not too sure if it is. Now I can't even open it. I got too much still. I don't know. I'm going to put a tiny bit of that there. It's kind of bright, I guess. I'm going to add a little bit of orange to these tulips that have water already down. So I'm taking this number 6 and let's just see what happens. I'm just going to add a little bit of this orange. Not too much because I'm not a big orangey person, but I do like a little bit of pink and orange together. So I'm using this smaller brush because then I can get some nice little lines in here. And this will start to bleed a little bit. So I'm kind of like patting the color in. I'm just sort of like pushing down my brush. And then I'm going to go ahead and pick up some of this orange in this middle one because it's a little too much for me. So I've got the Viva towels and I'm just going to blot it. And that's another sort of thing you can work around with your watercolors. You can blot it up and go from there. I'm going to probably keep that. I like how this one's light and that one's dark. I'm still not super crazy about that color orange, but that's okay. I don't want to get too hung up early on, especially when everything's wet, because you can easily turn things to mud very, very quickly. So I'm gonna look over here, and this, see, with my bright colors, so I can always add some more of that opera in. You can see the difference. A lot of water, not so much water. And it had some like nice dark reds in it and some purples. So let's go and find a nice red. This one's called Rose Madder. I remember this color before. Might be a little too dark. You guys, I'm gonna sneeze. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my God. Have you guys ever heard me sneeze? Well, now you have. All right, let me just see what I've got in here. I can't tell you this color because I cut it off, but these are from the Peerless Watercolors. So for those who have not seen these before, they're another amazing travel guide little thing. They're so fun to travel with. And you can cut them into strips and glue them onto a sketchbook. And then you can just take some water when you're like sitting at a restaurant and paint away. They're pretty awesome. So let's just see. Now it's deceiving this side because you're like, well, that's brown, but that's really the color. It's a little brown. So I'm just going to paint some of this darker red. Probably won't do a ton of this color. And all I'm doing is starting to put a little bit of darker pinks and reds on the left side. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that color. Let's see if I can find a better red. I guess that was called Rose Red. That's pretty for later. All right, let me go with I've got this red here from Wild Thorn. This was a little bonus red they gave me when I bought this set. Now, Wild Thorn is an incredible company. They are based in Santa Cruz Mountains, so they're really close to me, but they're not like, they don't have a shop or anything. I'd be like knocking on their door every day if they did. And when you buy from Wild Thorn, it is an experience. Leslie in our group knows she bought herself something, and I'm not sure if anybody else has. They are amazing. My mom bought a set like this for my sister as a gift, and it comes with lots of gifts and wrapped up, and they're each handmade. So there is a different price point, that's for sure. This is probably made in China and mass scale, and these are handmade pigments. So this was, and it's called Wild Thorn, and this was the red. That was a little gift just to say thank you. That's pretty. Now I don't care if I have little splotches of, you know, things going on. That's what makes it fun. You can take your round brush and, you know, adjust your shape. So I might start to separate this tulip from that guy. I'm gonna go in with this big brush, number 12, and get some more of this pink in here. I'm missing my pink. When I pulled it up, I pulled up a little bit too much. And you wanna make those changes, like if you wanted to pull up your paint and stuff, pretty on the quicker side. I mean, it will dry and then then you have what you have. So I'll start to lose myself in not that it's a tulip anymore, but it's just this shape and its color and how do I want them all to connect. I'm not thinking, oh, this is a tulip and this is a petal. I just sort of let that go. The tulip is the inspiration. And now I'm just about creating something to have fun and pleasing. What pleases me. I'm going to show you this pink. This is there's two colors here, 19. So in this Prima set, they're numbered on the side. You can take them out of here. And they also, well, the Wild Thorn ones have a magnet. So they can, stick and stay, which is kind of nice. These ones are just in here in a little, like a tract. So they pop in and out. So I got Sunset is 20. Whoopsie, this one is the Sunset one. And Pattaya is the 19. So let's look at these two colors. I want to get a new brush though. Where is here we go. This is a Angle shader. I'm going to get some new water. So this is more of the red I was probably looking for. It's not as brown. I'm starting to look at my tulips and thinking, what am I liking, what am I not liking? So what I'm not liking is this sort of striped brown stuff happening. And what I'll probably end up doing is really waiting for that. It's very hard for me to have this patience, but I'll probably have to wait until that is really dry. And then I might try to put that hot pink over it again, that opera pink over. And if that doesn't work, then I'll probably put some water down and just lift up the color. because I do prefer this red over the other, over the one I used from the Peerless. And I do like this lighter one from Wild Thorn, but not that dark one. It's all experimenting. Okay, and then this one is Sunset. Look how beautiful this one is. Oh my goodness. Okay, where am I gonna put this so you can see? So it's got a little bit more of a violet purple color. This is number 6 round. Just want to show you. And that's so pretty. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh, you don't even see that one. Hold on. Let me push this down. There we go. I love using the round brush to, I got hair in my face, is to make really fun lines. So I'm going to push down on my round brush, push down, push down, push down, and then lift up. Now that's certainly not what a tulip looks like, but it represents to me flowers. Not pretty. So this is probably like my second out of so far the colors that we've worked with today. I really, really love the Sunset in the Prima and the Opera Pink. Those two colors are delicious together. And what I'm gonna do now is, let's see what time it is. Oh my goodness, okay. What I'm gonna do now is I wanna show you some greens, so that way you leave today with being able to just continue to build up your flowers and your leaves, okay? And that way, I mean, we're not gonna finish this today. It takes a long time for me to finish my paintings because I love to layer, but I think it will give you enough of a start, and then I would love to see you post them in our group if you want to, no pressure. All right, so I'm gonna get some new water. You really wanna get some new water when you are doing watercolors, especially when you're switching complete colors, and we are. And I have these bigger brushes, but I think I'm gonna clean out my 2 rounds. That's what I want. Okay, that one looks pretty good. If I was doing something real professional, I would go wash them out with that Masters, but it's not professional. Okay, so I've got some greens I want to show you. Whoops, I've got this green here. This is a parrot, all right? I got a parrot there. And I'm trying to think where I want to use up my palette space too, so we can see these. Now I probably should clean this out one of these days. And then I want to show you the Mission Yellow Green, and I want to show you the Permanent Pale Green. And yes, Ellie, these are, I'm telling you, these are just really a great buy, especially on like especially if you are new to watercolors. I would 100% recommend these tropicals. I got a link to them on my art supplies, but you can find them anywhere on Amazon. But Prima, Prima, also makes, you know, your regular colors. They make lots of different sets. You want to type in tropicals, okay? That's important, because otherwise you'll just get the basics. And who needs basics? All right, hold on. I got these little cute things, and I get to use them today. So I got these for a photo shoot, and I never really used them, but, oh, whoops. That's not gonna work. All right, so I got this one here. I'm gonna put in this green first. All right, so here we go. This is the Permanent Green Pale by M. Graham. I wonder if his name is Mark. It's my hubby's name. I think everybody with an M is Mark. All right. So what I do to kind of get my leaves, let's just look at this real quick, is I just make these sort of lines with an angle brush. That's how I got these, with it straight at the top, or with a round brush. Okay, that's how I sort of do my lines, and I'll do a few for you. And you could do the same thing if you wanted to. You could put down water first. If you wanted to, just for fun, just to see. So I'm gonna smush this brush down and then pull up. That's sort of an idea if you wanted to play around with, you know, this like lighter green and different shapes. I don't think it has to be so perfect. And my flowers are kind of doing this. And so I want my greens to kind of go out that way. All right, so that's that gorgeous color. That is nice, 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 nice. All right, this one is the Mission. And I'm just gonna give it a little spot right here on this dish. They're very similar, if not almost the same. You can kind of see. But let's put a brand new brush so you can see. This might be a little brighter. All right, so I'm gonna do very, very, very similar. Very similar. And the way I paint these tulips this last few weeks is that I'm not gonna go in and try to do green and have my green touch this pink yet. On this sort of first go, I try to keep enough white space in between, and that is when I'll go back and just start to build up the space in between the tulips and the greenery, either with like little dots, you know, or a little bit more color. But for now, I'm just putting down some bright green, and then I would want this whole thing to dry completely, like maybe even a day. And then I'll go back and I'll start to very carefully use a small brush and just add on very carefully in the cracks. And that's if I wanted the white to be covered up. You may be like, oh, I really like that white. So let's do a little bit more of this green. So I'm gonna go back to that. Mark Graham. Am I still in? Yeah. I'm pushing down and up. And if you had an angle shader brush, you could do the same thing. All right, and now I want to try this Parrot color. I'm going to use this nice big fat brush. And so this is in the Prima set. Let me move this up a little bit now. Back up. So it has some more yellow in it. It's not as blue as a green, but it sure is pretty and great complement for them together. So just like we did with the pinks, I would want to use different greens and have them just go next to each other. My friend Renee would love this color. So that's the Parrot. There's also other greens in this set. There's Island and Palms, and you could even mix a little bit. I didn't do a lot of mixing today just because, you know, it's not like a full class. It's just kind of for fun, and I just wanted to kind of get some paint down on our paper. All right, so I'm gonna turn us around. I wanna chat with you about showing art to your family. And I also wanna pull our card today. So keep painting. I'm just gonna flip us. Keep painting. Let's see, oh my God, I'm upside down. You can see the fog coming in. Yes, she's so awesome. Is it on Sunday? Yeah. She's already done the class. I think it's recorded, but, oh, I got a crooked. Ta-da! Okay, what do you think? Did you guys like doing that? Because I'm hoping that we can do that more often, which is to just bring your journal and sketchbook and just kind of have fun. And my hope is that you get into a habit of wanting to continue it later this weekend. And that, you know, like, look, what was that? 30 minutes, maybe a little bit more. 40 minutes, that's it, 40 minutes. And for watercolors especially, you know, you can really keep going and keep creating and come up with something absolutely gorgeous by just doing little 30-minute sets on top of each other. And can I show the inspiration pick one more time? Yes. Ta-da! This is it's backwards. It is backwards. Okay, so I want to talk to you guys about a couple things. One is we had a sweet Debbie in our group had shown her artwork. She's sort of new to painting, and she had shown some progress, like things that were in layers, like early layers. Like when I paint in acrylics, I had like 15 layers. So maybe it was like layer 6 or 7 she was showing. And I think the feedback was like, not so much, like either, you know, ghosting, not really saying anything, or like that. And so I was like, oh, so I wanted to get on and tell you guys that literally any time I'm painting, and especially when I'm painting in layers, I don't show anybody. Unless you came to visit me in my studio and it was out, of course I would show you, but I'm not hiding it. But I don't really show my friends or family because only I know in my head what I want that painting to look like. And if it's only halfway done, then they're not going to get it at all. One, and they actually might not even get the end result. And that's 100% okay. Art is so subjective. It speaks from your soul and your heart, and you're putting it out into the world. And so I have found in my years of being an artist that I just know that my family, they're not going to get it. Now, of course, like now I'm not talking about my mom and my awesome sisters. I'm talking about my kids and my husband. Even my friends be like, that's okay. because, you know, they don't see that end result. And I just want, especially all the beginning creatives that are in this group, to know that I'm so proud that you are posting and sharing and putting that out into our group, because our group is private, and you are going to get the encouragement you need right here. And I just want you to know that we've all been there, and it's got to come from you and your love of your art, and just to keep on going, okay? Just to keep on going. And even if you create a Van Gogh or a Picasso at the end of your journey of your painting, and that's, you're like, oh my gosh, some people are just not going to like it because they're into something else. And so I really, 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 really want you to know that when you're being creative and when you're making anything, any art, music, writing, and teaching, making flowers, all of that stuff, it's really about how you feel inside and what you did. And it's really not about what anybody else thinks. It really isn't. Of course you're selling it and then you want them to love it too, but you get my drift, right? Just keep your process things to your, you know, don't like show them to your family, because it's really hard for them to understand that vision of where it's going. And show it to us because we love it. So I just wanted to let you know that. All right. So even if you put your art shows, people aren't going to get, yes, Molly, that's so true. I have had so many people, when I did my art festivals, people would just literally walk by and like, I can do that. Like how many times in our life have we gone to an art festival, or you've been with your mom and she's like, you could do that. Like, I always crack up, like when I'm with my mom in an art gallery, she always looks at me, she's like, you could totally do that. Totally off topic, but I just wanted you to know that this is so true. I have a friend who asked me to paint cats because she loves cats. Well, I don't want to tell her I don't like cats at all. There's something. Oh my God, that is so funny. You just go, yeah, maybe when I have time, Amy. Yes. Okay. Oh, you know what happened to me this morning? And then I'm going to do our card, and then we're going to move on with our day. Okay. Sometimes, so if you're ever trying to find an idea for something, whether it's your art or your business or anything, and you're like, I really need to figure this out. Where's my idea? I want my idea. Ideas can come to you when you least expect them. They really can. Like, there's so many people who say like your best idea sometimes comes in the shower or on a walk with your dog or when you're cooking dinner. When you get an idea for anything, like it could be something, I'm talking any ideas for anything, you just need to write them down. Get your little journal out, get your little book out, and just write them down, okay? And sometimes I get ideas for classes, sometimes I get ideas for a new painting. This was an idea that I had for my business course coming up, but what I'm going to do in a couple of weeks, I'm so excited about it. Oh my, I was like out of my mind. I literally was jumping up and down this morning by myself. Everybody was sleeping. Is in 2 weeks, I will get the dates out. I'm going to do a 3-day workshop, totally free. 3-day workshop on finding your creative magic. And I'll have all the details, but I have all these ideas of what I want to share. And of course, I'm going to be talking about my new business class, but you don't have to do the free workshop and buy the class at all. That's not what it's about. It's about that I want to get as many people in the world to find their creative spark. And if some of those people want to sell that, that's even better, but not everybody does. So I want to kind of come together, and I'm so excited. I've got these huge, and then all of a sudden I started writing this idea down, and then it turned into like a 3-week one in the fall, and oh my goodness, I'm out of my mind. It's all in a good way. But this group here and my newsletter group would be the first to hear about any of this stuff. And so I think in my newsletter this week, I'm going to ask a couple questions. And if you want to get back to me on the email, that's awesome too. So if you're not on my newsletter list, just go ahead and subscribe at the bottom of my email. the bottom of my website, AndreaGarvey.com, you'll see sign up for newsletters. And so that group and this group is where I'm gonna sort of try and get some feedback and get your advice on things and share what's on my heart. But I realized that the last year, what's on my heart the most is trying to get people to know that we're all creative inside and we all have some beauty to share. And if I can get anybody just getting that out, and that makes me so happy. So anyway, I have to tell you about my ideas this morning. And so then I texted my husband who was working. I'm like, oh, I've got all these great ideas. And so by the time he gets home, he'll be like, what? So tired. Don't know about your ideas. Okay, so I am pulling a card from Super Tractor. So I have 3 Gabrielle Bernstein decks, and one of them today is going to be from Super Tractor. Okay, so I'm just going to pull our cards. I've been doing these. I did these at the beginning of COVID and when the pandemic started, and then we kind of stopped, and I was like, why are we stopping? Let's do them again. So we've been doing them the last few weeks. So anyway, hopefully you guys are still all there. It's way past our bedtime. What time is it? No, not too much past. All right. This is the back. I don't see the back, but they're all just beautifully decorated. Okay. I'm gonna pull this one. It's one of my favorite ones. Do you want to send something to know how? Do you want to send something to know how we can do that? Are you talking about getting on the newsletter? I have a friend who's a beautiful artist. I could never do it, but she thinks abstracts would be too hard. I love doing them. Okay, Linda, I'm not too sure what you were asking. So, let me know again. Sorry about that. And Amy, abstracts are so hard, you guys, but then I have been doing them over the last few weeks and last few years, and it's easier. It's like practice to me to mail something to you. Oh, okay, Linda, I will touch base with you after. I really feel like abstract is, it's like a hard thing to start saying, oh, I'm going to paint abstract, because I think it's almost easier to follow, or not copy is the wrong word, but it's like to look at, you know, like, it might be easier for me to draw this because I can see it, where for abstract, you have to almost go inside and start to just play around with it. And I have been doing abstract now for 2 years, and along with my florals and other stuff. And what I found is practicing over and over again in your little sketchbooks has really, really helped. Like, just, I think I showed this last week too, but you know, just doing like little studies. You know, this is sort of the little watercolor flowers, but yet from a distance and even from a quick look, they're pretty abstract. You can even cut into them. So anyway, but I do love them. There's something about it. I think I know why. Okay, I think I know why I like abstracts the best right now. It's because when at first I said they were harder, but now I feel like I'm more in the flow of when I'm doing the process of abstracts. I get more enjoyment out of it because it just kind of comes out. When I'm doing something that's more realistic, I'm using a different type of my brain to do it. So anyway, that's something to chew on, okay? Depending on how you're feeling. Did that even make sense? I hope so. All right, here's my card. Without further ado, here's my card. Okay, ready? This is so good. Oh my gosh, this is just for us. Okay, manifesting is the creative process of aligning with the energy of the universe to co-create an experience that elevates my spirit and the spirit of the world. What? This is so perfect. Okay. Manifesting is the creative process of aligning with the energy of the universe to co-create an experience that elevates my spirit and the spirit of the world. Amen. So let's manifest some big dreams, okay? All right, you guys. It is time. It's time for me to probably go make my kids breakfast. And thank you so much for coming and doing all this fun stuff with me. And then next Saturday, we are going to, yeah, you don't have to think so hard. Oh, you're welcome, Christina. Thank you. Next Saturday, we're going to do a mandala. You guys, it was like 43 to 43 on their voting. I mean, seriously, I literally was such a geek. I took my Excel and I went, one for all of the numbers last week. And so there was literally like 43 mandalas, 43 tulips. So many wanted both. And then wasn't that so freaky that I got an image of a mandala with a tulip in the inside? Really freaky. So next week we will do a mandala. And before we do it, I will post a couple little things and tips of what to bring to our fun class. And oh, you're welcome, Maria and Amanda. Mwah. This is backwards, but you guys get it. It's Gabrielle Bernstein. She also goes by Gabby, and it's called Super Tractor. And I just love her cards are really fulfilling. And merci. You're welcome. Okay. Mwah. I love you guys. Thank you. Thank you. Show me your tulips later. I am going to try and do a no electronics day on Sunday, but I will be checking in hopefully on Monday or later on tonight, okay? Aw, you guys fill me up big time, okay? So stay creative and keep that going. It's going to help the world heal. Mwah! Bye-bye.